It's Saturday night, and instead of being out socialising and enjoying the rare lovely weather that we had today, it's like so sunny. I wanted to talk about something that is like a bit controversial, and I think people are probably going to comment some things, but today I just wanted to reassure people that it's absolutely okay if university is not the best years of your life. So I start my final year of university in September, maybe, and that is terrifying. So anyway, let's talk about education. I wanted to say, like, education is such a privilege, and I am so grateful to have had the opportunity and to continue to have the opportunity to attend university. But what I would say, and what I've found in my experience of university, is that people have a tendency to, I guess, romanticise this period of your life, and you know, I just wanted to give you the other side of the coin. So I've heard people say things like university will be the best years of your life, and I think I've certainly got a lot out of my university experience, but there's also some things, not about my university in particular, but the but the culture of university and of higher education it can be a really difficult thing to deal with, I think. And so I'm just gonna talk about that and just let you decide. This isn't to discourage anyone from university or to encourage anyone. This is just to give you like my view on what is potentially a broken system. The first thing I want to say about university is that I don't know how it works in other countries, but in the UK it's really common to apply for university at 17. And if I think I'm almost 22 at the time of recording this, so to think on the person I was at that age and to think who I am now and how I've grown so much, and as a result of that my interests have changed too as a person, because that's normal and it's completely okay for that to happen. But our system here doesn't really allow for that sort of growth that you'll experience as a person, and so for a lot of people, you know, they can choose something at 17 and that'll stick until you graduate at 22. But for a lot of people that isn't the case, and there's no real flexibility in our system, and you know, potentially you can end up doing something that you grow to really hate, and you're spending upwards of 40 hours a week on something that you could not care less about. So from that, it's also possible that if that happens to you, it's kind of happened to me, that not only are you spending a lot of time and money, it's a very expensive thing, university, but you know, you are so deeply involved in something, you know, university, and you're not actually sure what it is that you're going to get out of it. So you know, for people who say they're studying medicine, who want to be doctors, or who want to use it to become a public health professional, or people who are doing law for the purposes of becoming a lawyer, or people who are just genuinely interested in the courses, it's a really good investment for them. But if you know, have entered a course and it's not what you could really see yourself doing, then that can be a really hard thing to stick out when you don't know what it is that you're going to get from it, you know, what that return of your investment is going to be. Another thing I found really challenging about university so far, I think it will probably get worse, but you know, everyone who is at university is in some way clever or intelligent, or however you want to say it, and there are different types of intelligence, certainly. Like the type of intelligence required to do well on my course wouldn't be the same as the type required to do well in an art course, say, but it's still, you know, people are clever and talented. And so, you know, you've maybe gone from high school where you were the best at something, or, you know, certainly up there, and then you kind of go into a cohort where everyone was good at this at school, where, you know, you're not really that special anymore. And I think that can lead to a lot of imposter syndrome, which can make university so difficult, because a degree is really hard, you know, and that requires a lot of hard work. And so it really shouldn't matter, to me anyway, you know, what classification you get or what grade you get in a degree, or however your university does it. But instead, you know, we don't really think of it like, you know, undertaking a degree as being the achievement. It's always about, you know, what the end outcome will be, and it just sort of, it can encourage a bit of a competitive environment that isn't always the most helpful. I have also found that my course in particular has no optional modules until third year, and you only get to choose one. So to me that is a very rigid course, and it's great if you're someone who is interested in everything, because you'll find something that works for you and that interests you. But if you don't find anything that interests you on that course, on a very rigid course, then it can be quite difficult to do well and to engage with something that you're not completely interested in. And a lot of the time it takes actually trying something to work out whether you like it or not. You know, you can look at a module guide before you apply for the course, but that's never really going to be the same as actually doing it, you know. And it's just one of those things. Sometimes the world would be such a boring place if we all liked the same things. And I find universities in general, this is my second attempt at university, but sometimes universities adapt a one-size-fits-all approach to their, you know, modules and things. They don't take into account, like, some people will do, you know, well in essays, other people will do well in multiple choice exams, some people, you know, just perform better in different ways. They don't really have the resources to take that into account. And so I think it's really easy to feel stupid at university. The sort of expectations of what the university experience will be like for people isn't always met, and it's not always something that people enjoy. So I always thought at university, like, there'd be lots of parties and pub crawls and all this stuff, and do you know, there is, but I don't like them. I like the odd party, not a major drinker, which I study in Newcastle, so it's a bit difficult. And you know, there is so many opportunities to get involved in clubs and things, but it's like, you know, making the first step of getting involved can be really difficult for a lot of people. And even if you are involved, I just feel like expectations sometimes aren't met. So, and it must be so hard for people who are introverts to get involved in the social side of university. I love socialising, I get all my energy from being around people, but that has to be on my own terms. And I don't know, it can seem like being aloof, but it's not. It's just I like for things to be on my terms. On the other hand though, I just want to say that I think university can be such a good environment for people, and people can get a lot out of it as well. So what I decided this year at university was that I'm not particularly interested in my course, but that there was going to be so many other opportunities for me to develop different skills and things that would actually end up being really useful. That there was a mass of ways I could, you know, develop as a person as well as getting things for my CV, and that actually I have gotten a lot out of my experience so far. So if it was to end this year, or if I was to take a break, I would know that I've left university with a good group of friends, interests that I didn't have before going to university. So I've gotten really involved with student media, for example. I have, I don't know, joined like a theatre society, managed to network with so many interesting people who are doing really cool things. And actually it's like university for me has not been the best years of my life. I genuinely believe the best is yet to come, because this cannot be the best years of my life. But it's not an experience that I would want to write off either, because although I think probably when I was younger I should have taken some time to think about my choices a bit better, but at the same time it's like, if I hadn't come to university, would I have developed the same way as a person? Would I have, I don't know, met the interesting people that I have and done some interesting things? Probably not. So I don't know. I hope I've not completely put people off university. I think if you have an end goal in mind for university, it's such a good thing to do, but just I think it's a decision to make carefully and well informed. Have a beautiful day, evening, morning, and I will see you in the next one.